YouTube, hello and welcome to this YouTube exclusive video. Guys, I'm very excited because we're going to be continuing Blueprints. This is kind of an experiment here where we're going to see how I do without Twitch chat holding my hand. That's just the honest truth. But yeah, we talked about it before. I've really been enjoying Blueprints. I want to continue this, so we're going to experiment a bit, see how I like this. And check this out, maybe try to get a little bit more YouTube exclusive videos without any, live streaming or anything like that before. So I'll keep it pretty simple, guys. You know the drill by now. If you do enjoy this video, if you like my Blueprint stuff, please consider liking and commenting on this video. Please consider, subscribing to my channel and hitting that alert bell. Follow me on all my social media, and of course, you can check me out on twitch.tv when I'm streaming live. But yeah, today is going to be a YouTube exclusive. We're going to continue Blueprints. We're on day 32, I believe. Where we left off was we had just learned the new secret of the 8 doors below, and we're trying to locate them. I believe we found the memory chips. We have access to the throne room now. We can get one of the 4 keys. The rest is all going to be lined up and trying to figure stuff out. So we're going to take a look. We're going to see how this run goes. It'll probably just be one day, day 32. But YouTube, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in a second. All right, hey YouTube, welcome back. Sorry about that. Needed to take a quick break there, but let's continue with day 32. So where we left off last time is we had the Scorched Sundial, but we didn't have the item there for it. We got most of the new clue hints thanks to Femzy, and now it's just a matter of trying to find a whole bunch of other stuff left. I believe we're still missing one of the red letters. We need to get into more of the classrooms, and we need to get a bunch of trophies. So we do have quite a lot. We also are missing quite a few of the sigil information, and we need to find that as well. So we need to kind of keep a close eye out for it and see what we can do. So I'm going to probably take my time with this day, which is why we'll probably only for this video just have the one day, unless it ends like immediately just due to bad luck. But that is the current plan. So we're going to explore as much as we can and see where we go. So with that being said, let's grab our allowance, which is now 20. We have shattered both of the vases. There is a hint about ending rooms. We'll go to the outside. Ideally, I would like to get either the classroom or the trading post. The classroom because, I think we only made it to grade 5. We need, I think, 6 through 8 left. And then the trading post because there's an upgrade disc there. So we have both. I think that the schoolhouse is probably the way to go here. We can come back and get the trading post later. But we'll need to prioritize the classroom and take a look around. So we won't use a footstep there on this run. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to narrate a lot because this is going to be a little bit weird doing a solo game without any interaction. I just kind of want to try this, do one day, and that way if we don't miss a ton, it can be available. But that is the plan. So I just want to take a look and see if I find anything else. We did break both of the vases. I'm pretty sure that one of the locations is one of the sigils is in the chapel. I was doing some editing and I think I spotted one. I'll just need to try and take a closer look at it. But let's open up the library. And we have Swimbird again. I also just want to take a look and see if there's a sigil or anything that jumps out as being a sigil. So I just want to, like I said, I'm going to try to go through like every room kind of with a fine-tooth comb here. And, just see if there's anything that I missed. But it's like I just feel, again with some of the stuff, I'm very curious as to what will happen. And I want to just check it out. So we're looking at everything. Man, I'm gonna be honest. I was going back and reading through some of my older stuff, right? And it just talk about embarrassing. You know, some of the misses I had. Uh, pretty tough. I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, we're at 11 billiard room and 29 parlor, and I think we have to get 40. We have 7 red letters and 1 sanctum key, and supposedly there's even more, which is kind of wild. Like it's just there's so many secrets and so many things that are left to find in this game. So I think the biggest thing is, like I said, trying to find more information on the sigils. I know we found some. I imagine the classrooms will teach us some more. But, I wonder if the fountain is even a sigil as well. Or if those bird fountains might be one. But yeah, we need to make the burner. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the burner we got to do. I'm just looking through everything again and double checking it all. Yeah, we need to make the burning glass. And then, yeah, our stamp collection, I do think I know how to get that. You get them from the letters. We've made it to grade 5. And then there is this entire empty page. So I just can't help but wonder if maybe there's some more that we're missing. Nothing else is jumping out at me. I'm trying to kind of look at the room from every angle, and I'm not really seeing anything. Could be that I missed it, so, if you want to make fun of me later and, see what I missed, there's always that. But, yeah, definitely wanted to take a look at this and check again. And then I remember we got Swimbird because there was the... sorry, I'm just moving this. Because of the cipher, which I haven't been able to figure out. So I don't know. It's tough, but we have the blue. So I'm just gonna make a note here and try and figure it out if I'm right or not. But I don't know. It's tough because I just feel like I'm reading too much into it. You know what I mean? Like maybe I just don't have it correct. But for blue, it's page Z, word X. So that would be page 1, word 24, or word 25, rather, if we wanted to do that. But that's kind of the part that doesn't make sense to me, is unless I have the cipher backwards, where the substitution is X is A, Y is B, and then Z is C. Maybe I've been looking at it wrong this entire time. So let's try that. If Z is indeed A, or if Z is C, it's page 3, right? And then page 3, if it starts here, if page 1 is the title page, then 1, 2, 3. So that would be this page here. Don't know how well you guys can see that, YouTube, but there it is. And then we have word X would be word 1. So diving here. So diving. So let's try page 3, word 1. And that's diving. Again, I don't know if this is sure. If this is what I need to do, or if I just have this completely wrong. X to Y to Z to A to B to C. I don't know. Might have to look at a new clue again and try it again. Maybe look at it over with the magnifying glass again. But that's okay. We took a look at it, and I don't really see a whole lot else. Yeah, I don't even think there's that many pages, so let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So there's 21. 21 pages in total if you start at the title page. And I don't know. Because, yeah, it wouldn't, like, page... I think it's... Yeah. Because it's page... I think it's page Z, word X is what it says. Yeah, page X, word Z. Yeah, and X would be, Z's 26, so 25, it would be 24. So there isn't even a page 24. So I have something wrong with the cipher. Let's just put it that way. I have something wrong with the cipher. But we'll have to come back and try it again. Maybe there will be another clue somewhere. Getting a classroom here I think would be pretty good. Could get the commissary, which could help. I don't want to lose half my steps this early, so... Let's invest in the classroom. And this is, again, grade 1. We've already done this. It's the colors. I just want to take a look around and see if there's anything else. Any other hints that we might have missed? Nothing is jumping out at me. So I think we need to try and do another... I think we need to try and go all in on classrooms. So we got to try and get as many diamonds as we can. Okay. Let's get this guy so we can get the billiard room here. Or the bedroom. I think the billiard room is the way to go, or we could redraw. Billiard room, I think, is the way to go. It would just open up more possibilities, and we do want to try and maximize this mansion run. That's the goal. So let's save the redraws, and let's use the billiard room. This will be a puzzle room, and then we can always go back and... Oh, look, we get some more money. That's always nice. Okay, and then let's take a look here. Again, I'm just trying to see if there's anything in these rooms that we've missed, like a hint to a sigil or something like that. Nothing is really jumping out at me, though. But I figured the least we can do is check, right? Interesting, just looking at this, we do have the 15, a 13, a 3... I wonder if those numbers are significant. So we get 4. And we get 5. Plus 1 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. Minus 3 is 6. Times 3 is 18. Then we have 3. Minus 1 is 2. Times 15 is 30, divided by 3 is 10. Then we have 4. Times 2 times 5, so that's 40. Divided by 10, divided by 4 is 1. Got it. And look, we get the key card immediately, so that'll be very useful. That also means we have access, I believe, to the foundry. I think I'm going to go here, even though it'll block off our, not foundry, foundation, even though it'll block this off and it'll use our last diamond. But that's just to get another classroom. And then hopefully we can get like the den or the parlor or the courtyard or something like that. Okay. Again, I don't see anything that jumps up. We do know the colors already in the multiplication. I don't see anything that jumps up there. And we did do the math already for how it works. This one, I feel a lot of the puzzles, this is the easier one. Again, I'm just trying to see if there's any information, you know, that we might have missed, like on one of the desks or something. I don't know. Nothing's jumping out at me, but I figured, hey, let's at least give it a shot. Okay, unfortunately, we can't get the courtyard. I forgot because that costs one, and we don't have it. We could get the bedroom, but that'll dead-end us, so I think we have to go the parlor here, and we need this in order to get some more gems. So hopefully this is not the one I mess up. I haven't made a mistake on this game yet. I hope we can continue that. Alright, only one statement is false. Only one statement is true, and the gems are in a box with a false statement. Okay, so if only one statement is true, then both of these would have to be false, which would mean, you know, one statement is false. Only one statement is false. More than one statement would be false, which would be true. And then this one would be the gems are in a box with a true statement, which means they would be in here. Now, if this statement is true, and only one statement is false, then this statement would have to be false, and this statement would have to be true. So they are in the white box. So I think either way, they're in the white box. So let's see if I got it right. I did. Yep. Okay, sweet. That'll help us out quite a lot. So we got the servant spare quarters, which will give us extra keys. I could get the storeroom, which would block this off, or I could pay one to get the boiler room. I think I'm going to go the servant spare quarters. I don't necessarily need the boiler room right now, and I want to kind of keep my gems because I want to save them for classrooms. So we'll get the extra, and look at that, we even got some dice on top of that, so that's awesome to get some rerolls. So we get one free key. And, yeah, we have a little servant spare bedroom here. So the drawing room will pay for itself. Planetarium is good, or we could get the den. I think we'll go with the drawing room, because this will let us redraw for free. And like I said, it'll pay for itself, because I remember the key in the safe. So, oh, and it looks like it just left it open for me this time around. I wonder why it's doing that. Interesting. Another thing that I'm just curious about that I'm not certain is they brought up how they always sit in the same chair. We did get a hint about that before, so I'm very curious. Let's go to the east hallway here. We could use a key. I don't want to use a key this early. So we can get the den or another classroom. I feel getting the classroom is good to go here. I think this is what we should do. The den would give us another one, but the den's pretty common, so I'm not super worried about it. And this will give us access to the foundation. So I think we go for the classroom, since that's what we're trying to do here. This is the science one. So we got that. I don't see anything else that jumps out at me here. Though there is the vase. And there's the periodic table of the elements, which is useful, but I think we already solved this particular problem. So now what I would like to do is I'm going to go through the foundation and we'll start to... So we can get another classroom, or we could get the observatory. I feel the classroom is the way to go again, trying to get as many of those as possible. This was one of the biggest hints, I think. I feel this is one of the biggest hints we got in the game. A hall pass? Not lose traveling between two adjoining hallways, and they don't cost money. Okay, that's kind of nice. We'll grab this. And again, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me that we didn't already take a look at. So I'm not going to spend too much time in this classroom, but it is kind of cool that we've already got this many classrooms to start. Alright, so we can go bedroom, pantry, or security. I think all those would help, but I don't want to spend gems right now, so I think we'll just go with the pantry to keep this going. This will also get us some additional money so we can buy more stuff. So that'll be good. We're at 34. And okay. We've got the trophy room, which we don't have enough for. That would be awesome. We could get the storeroom. Or we could get the closet. I don't feel like any of these are really good choices, so I'm going to redraw. We can get the bedroom or the utility closet. I think the bedroom is the way to go here. We can't afford the office, so... And again, I feel very strong that there's a secret here. I just don't know what it is. I figure it's worth at least taking a look around, but... Alrighty. Commissary wouldn't be too bad, but I do feel that in order to continue with this, I think... Because I don't want to seal this part of the house off, I think we go with the corridor here. And rather than continue to advance, I think I want to go back. And I want to... I want to try to maximize the number of gems, so I probably want to go with either the den or the courtyard, and I want to see if I can get that over here. I know it's using a lot of steps, but... I probably should have turned around a lot earlier, but that's another... For another time, I suppose. Yeah, let's get the hallway. And then this way we just know we're kind of maximizing our space here. Commissary, I think, could be good here, especially if they end up selling gems. So I'll gamble on that. And that way I know for a fact that at least we'll maximize all the rooms on this side. Okay. They have both the shovel and the sledgehammer here. I think that's worth it. No gems, but that's okay. But I think getting both the shovel and the sledge will be good. And then we still have 20 coins, so it's not like we can't come back and buy more stuff if we need it, like in a kitchen or something like that. And speaking of, there's the kitchen, but we don't have any diamonds, so we'll grab a den to get another diamond here. And that way we also have this room as well, which will be nice. And look at that, there's a lockbox. And hopefully there will be some gems in here. And we got 3 of them. Very lucky. Very awesome. We have 4 gems to start. One of the things I would also like to do later, if we can get more money, is... Yeah, let's get the chapel here. One of the things I think I would like to do, and we'll bite the bullet to see what's in here, but we can always come back and break the piggy bank. That is a one-time thing, I was informed. So that's kind of nice. And then that is, I think that's Mount Holly. I want to say that's the Fen Eris. You know, it's the red one because it has the red background. But that's what I was looking at before. or I thought it looked like a sigil. But we still have 19 coins, so I'm not super worried about it, and we filled out that entire area, which means now I feel better about like using my key and stuff like that. So we'll head back to the drawing room, and we'll go from there. But I also don't feel too bad about using so many steps to come back now. Just makes me feel better about kind of where we're at. Okay, so let's use the key here. We can get security, the reading nook, or we could redraw. I feel like using a redraw here would be good. I know having the garage with more keys is probably the way to go, but I want to redraw here because I don't want to spend the diamond on security, even if that is useful. I would rather try to get another 3 like the hallway. So we'll use our free redraw. And that is really unfortunate, so I'm going to try our final redraw. And we got the courtyard. I would much rather get the courtyard, which has a net total, and it would let us dig in some places. So look, we just got a key. Yeah, this was very well done. We got a lot of keys here. Oh my gosh. Okay. And we can dig. And unfortunately, we didn't get anything. So let's go south, just because that's less likely for us to have to use our keys. We can get the veranda, which is pretty good. I definitely feel that's a worthwhile investment, so we'll get that. Greater chance to find items here, and we can dig. I know, again, don't want to use too much of our diamonds, but metal detector is going to help out a lot, so that's cool. We'll find keys and gold. And it keeps this whole area open, which is also really nice. So we do have the sleeping mask. We can get the reading nook or the classroom. I think that the classroom is probably what we want to do. That's our goal, to try and maximize it out. I think we have 4 of them. We do need to find 1 more diamond. Unfortunately, it also means on this run, we won't be able to get what we want, which is the... maxing every room. We won't be able to fill every room out this run, but that's okay. And then, yeah, this is the one. This is the portrait hint. So that's kind of cool we got this one here. And yeah, this is art class, grade 5, I think, which means we only have 3 more. So if we can get lucky, there's a good chance we'll be able to continue to move on. Again, I don't see anything that jumps out at me. I don't see, like, any sigils or anything like that. I do want to just kind of take a look again and just double-check everything. But, yeah, nothing is really jumping out at me here. So we will head back through the courtyard. And we do still have the foundation. Let's use a key here. Why not? We can get the garage, the armory, or the dining room. I feel the dining room is the way to go here. The garage would be awesome, but I think the dining room is what we need. Armory, if I hadn't spent money on the tools, I might have gone there. Could you imagine getting the trophy room for free with, like, the axe? That's kind of what I'm thinking about, if the axe is there again. So we'll try the armory another time. But we got the lunchbox, so that'll help out quite a bit. And on top of that, we opened up every other direction, which is also really good. Maximizing our opportunities. And both of these are locked, so we will try to stick here for now. We can get another classroom. We can get the storage unit or the Geist bedroom to get some rerolls. I definitely feel getting the classroom is the way to go here. We can keep the storeroom, but this will be number 6, which looks like astrology. I don't think we've ever reached this before. So, YouTube, what I'm going to do is we're going to explore around. I'll probably pause the recording here, just so you guys don't have to sit and listen to me take notes and all that other fun stuff. But I'll pause the recording and then we'll go over everything together once I get out, okay? So hang tight for a little bit and I'll be right back. All right, hey YouTube, sorry about the break there, but I am back. I have explored everything. So this was a history class, and as you can see on the screen, I have the history workshop. Basically, through doing some of my own notes, I was able to confirm some of these answers. So, Noah here got 46, and I was able to determine that Oris was the city built after a historical figure. A long time ago, we found notes about how when we got the first edition book of the history of Arindia, Oris was the name of the first king. Then the son of the fourth king of Arindia had two. There were two sons. He gave them each a kingdom, and the daughter was Iraha. In which realm did not ally with Fen Ares? I have specifically that Learson allied with both Arch Ares and Nuance, so the answer is Iraha. Which flag was forbidden to be flown at full staff? It wouldn't make sense to have the flag of surrender or the banner of House Learson, so it must have been the black flag, which was the flag of Arindia Ares, which Fen Ares defeated. General Teskin, I believe, therefore, by elimination, had to have been the correct answer for the first crowned ruler, because we know that Noah here got number 2 wrong, because Oris is the city named after a historical figure, and then we know that he also got this one wrong as well, where it was Iraha. So that means that the correct answers have to be Teskin, Oris, 2, 22, Iraha, and Black Flag. So I made all the notes about that already. Other things about this room that I noticed while I was gone and exploring that I didn't record is this line: history is penned by the victors. Victors is in all caps and in red, which, we know red text tends to be lies. So interesting that we got that there. But then also, I don't know if you guys can see, but this was originally like stars, so you can turn on and go through the slides, and here you can see the battle between Ben and Arindia Ares. Arindia is in black on the left, flying the black flag, and then we have here the Fen army in red. And you can actually go through these slides, so we'll just kind of go through them. Next up, it looks like we have a period of mourning here. I'm going in closer because I want this recorded, but also because I didn't really look too close, but it looks like this is the cost of war and the victory celebration as they're throwing their hats up in the air. The Reds have defeated the Arindia Ares side. I don't feel it would be appropriate to say the other word in plural. As you can see here, we have what looks like to be the crowning of the general as the first king of Fen Ares, and we have the Fen sigil there on display. Again, I'm just kind of taking a close look at this to make sure I didn't miss anything. I would love if I could take a closer look, but I think that's all I can. And then here, it looks like they are tearing apart the railroads that were part of Arindia Ares. If we remember correctly, I believe their transportation was rail. So Fen Ares is now destroying the railroads to set their own kingdom and to, I guess, isolate. And then here we go at the big victory celebration. And notably, what I thought was pretty interesting is there's a green blimp there, meaning, at least to me, the way I chose to interpret that is that one of their two allied kingdoms is green. And I need to go back and check that sigil, so that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm going back to the sigils, and it was Nuance and Arch Ares, both allied. And that means that either Nuance or Arch Ares is green. And since I think we confirmed that Arch Ares is yellow, I believe that means that Nuance is probably green. So I'm just going to make a note of that. I think that's one of the hints, because I believe Cocorica is orange. And yeah, I think that is where we are. So I need to definitely go back and make a note of that, but that will only take a second, YouTube, so I do apologize. But that is everything I believe we found out, is that I believe that Nuance is green. I think that was another big takeaway from this, that Nuance is indeed green. So I'm making a quick note here that Nuance, and I'm going to put a question mark next to it, but I just put a quick note there, and that's why I didn't, cut that out, but I did forget. But that is what I took away, is that one of their allies had to be green, and it wasn't Fen Ares, so... Or rather, Arc Ares, and it's not Fen Ares either. Both of those are red and yellow, respectively. Red for Fen, yellow for An Ares, according to my notes. So that is where we are, and that is where I left off. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my notes back to where I was, because I had to go back pretty far. So we will have to get there. But yeah, that was grade 6. So I think that was a pretty big takeaway, personally speaking. I think we learned quite a bit there. And sorry, I am on a bit of a time limit, so I am trying to make sure that I get as much as I can in on this playthrough. But I believe, yeah, that was the big takeaway from classroom number 6. So I'm going to redraw here. I do feel that if we grab the storeroom, that would be good, but I don't want to dead end here. I would rather dead end, I think, at the edge. So I want to redraw. And the dark room would be useful, but we have a bunch of redraws, so let's try that. I do need the pool, but again, that's not the goal of what I'm here for today, so we will have to come back to that. The boudoir with a better reroll, I like that. So this way it'll continue, and we can get some more dice, and we can get another gem, which is going to be really useful. And yeah, now oddly enough, that is a bit weird that now all of those are open and unlocked. I wonder why that is. But getting some rerolls will be good and be useful. I don't want to use my last key just yet, although it might not be a bad idea if I'm going to be completely honest. Let's give it a shot. We'll gamble here, because we do have the open door on the other side. We could get the Chamber of Mirrors. That would just give us a lot of food, and it would force us to go around. I think the workshop will be the way to go here. And that way we can at least potentially keep going and maybe get some useful information. Like, here we go. We got the battery. And potentially we could get the super sledge, which could be very useful if we, like, draw the weight room again. We got the throne room, but I don't have enough gems, but that's good to know that that's how much it costs. So I think we have to redraw here. And I don't really like any of these, if I'm going to be completely honest. So let's redraw one more time. And we've got the Great Hall, which everything would be locked. Or we could do the kitchen and get food for sale. We don't have any keys, so the Great Hall would stink, quite honestly. So let's go for the armory here. This gives us another night. Self-igniting torch. Oh! That's useful. Okay. And it looks like once you buy the items, they switch out, perhaps? But this is going to be awesome, because then we can go down underground with this. So yeah, let's buy this self-igniting torch. We need this for a couple things. And then this would protect us from the red room. So that'll be useful. Let's kind of hang on to that. But that torch is going to be really helpful. Okay, and then that's locked. So now we have to go all the way around. I think the dining room is also going to be locked. But let me take a look. Is there anything I can make here? Metal detector and the shovel. To get the detector shovel. Which I think that allows a greater chance of getting keys. I think we've already built that one, though. But yeah, we do need one more item, I think. Okay. Man, that self-igniting torch is going to be very useful, I would say. I don't think there's any more secrets in here, but I just figure I'll take a look. Back in the classroom. Dining hall. Is this locked? Yep, okay. So, yeah, classroom and the veranda are dead ends. The drawing room. Let's head down to the corridor, so we'll go through the classroom here. I also think this should have a couple places we can dig. Got a brick. And an old tin can. Man, we went 0 for 2 on that one. Unfortunate. I could go down and we could try to knock out a couple things while we have the steps. Probably be a little less crazy to do that. But I think I'd like to go through and we'll go down through the pantry and the bedroom. And now we'll go into the corridor and maybe we'll get lucky with an item in here. We do have the metal detector still. Oh, we can get another classroom. I think that's worth the gamble. I really do. Okay, so here we are at another classroom, grade 7. We've never had this one before. This is algebra. So, advanced functions. We'll grab this. And we'll look around, because I don't know how many notes we're going to take, but that last one I know for sure there was. So, it looks like this is to help us kind of with the math. They got 8 out of 12 there. So a squared times b minus 3 is the graph. And then again, these are in different colors, which is useful. Remember, don't square till you're there. Okay. Remember to don't square till you're there. So I will take a moment to take a couple notes. But actually, before we do that, let's see if this is even unlocked. Let's do a redraw here. We have 10 of them available, so we might as well. We can get another boudoir. So we did get a second one. That would give us another diamond and some rerolls. Or we could get the nook, which would give us a key. Let's just take advantage and let's see if we can get a favorable outcome here. Keys for sale. That could be good. But we have a ton of these, so might as well try and use them. Maybe we'll find one that's pretty good. So far, we're not having a ton of luck, I'm going to be completely honest. Mailroom could be good. That would probably end this run, though, if we did. So let's try again. Conference room, storeroom. I think the storeroom here is good to go, because then it would give us some more keys. We've been putting this one off for a while, so... But that way, this gives us quite a lot. And yeah, there's the little bluebird from Swimbird. Okay. So let's go back into grade 7. And let's take some notes on this real quick. So I'll be right back. And hopefully YouTube, you'll just see this in a moment. Hang tight. Alright, hey YouTubes, welcome back. Basically, a lot of complicated stuff on here. I'm pretty much just listing this for my records later. I went through and I recorded a whole bunch of stuff. I tried to do some math, and I feel like I'm missing something, but I'll just show you guys kind of what I found. So this is the example of the worksheet, what to expect. This is the, you you square it, and then this is the square root, I'm assuming. So, you take the square root of 12, but what I don't understand is like their order of operations seems all over the place to me. I don't know for sure if that's the way it's supposed to work or what, but it's hurting my brain after a while. Because for me, like, I don't know, like this makes sense. 9 minus 5 is then 4, but what I have is I have yellow as multiplication, so this doesn't work out. And then, we have this algebra thing over here as well, where it looks like there's, a variable A and then variable, for B. So this turns out to be 900, but it's in red, which for me indicates, based on our previous math stuff, that's a subtraction. This is a plus, and then this is a multiplication. But again, I don't know for sure. I really have to think about it and how it will apply. I imagine this will be relevant in some point later with some of the more advanced math we'll be doing. But like some of this stuff is just kind of crazy. It's like this one seems to be you round up, this one seems to be you round down. So these two seem to be wrong, but I'm not 100% sure. Because, we have here 22 and then 20, and then, 22 and then 20, and then this one doesn't have it correct. So I'm not 100% sure which one's right. For me, having the two lines would make more sense to round up. But again, I can't kind of wrap my head around what's going on here. I feel like on this one, because they missed 8 out of 12, I feel this one's incorrect. Because this is the square root, I think. So this should be 4. I think this is also incorrect because the square root here of 12 is going to be between 3 and 4. It'll be like 3.5 or something like that. And you multiply that by 2, that's going to be 7. So, I don't know. I feel like just the way that they did this doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Even if you did multiplication, 24, the square root of that doesn't make a lot of sense. And then they also have the note over here. Remember, don't square till you're there. I'm sure there's a method. I just can't figure it out, so I may have to ask someone smarter than me when I'm not recording. But that's just kind of where we're at. I just wanted to let you guys know that this guy obviously missed 5. So, I don't know. For me, it feels like, unless I'm just misremembering what the colors are, which is entirely possible, where maybe I switched red and yellow, which I think maybe I did. So maybe instead red is the multiplication, and then... So I know purple for sure was division and teal was addition. So what we'll do is I'll go back and I'll go check Classroom 2. I think we have to go back there anyway. So we'll go back and check Classroom 2, but... Again, I just made some notes on what this was, and we'll go from there. But, yeah, I just feel my brain. I was pretty sure it was teal, then pink, then yellow on, like, the dartboard game as well, but I can't really remember, and I'm not going to stress about it more than I have to. So, but we did get a couple keys. We do have some more options. So, we're here in classroom number 3 here, and then I think this is classroom 2 right down there. So we'll probably just run down and check that out real quick and just double check and make sure I've got it correct. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So you guys didn't miss a whole lot other than me just scratching my head and confusing myself. So here we are, grade 2. Pink is multiplication, so I did have that wrong. Yellow is subtraction. So let me just make a quick fix of my notes on that. And now some of that math will probably make a lot more sense when I go back and look at it again. But yeah, I'm not gonna like stress about that sort of thing. It's not worth stressing out about. So let's continue to explore the mansion a bit. We'll try to get that dining room unlocked by making it to rank 8. But yeah, overall, like I said, I still feel pretty good about where we are and how we're doing. We got some keys, so we don't have any rerolls, so hopefully this will work out, and if not, no worries. We could get the final classroom, or we could get some rerolls. I feel getting the final classroom is worth it here, and then we'll just eat whatever we have in the armory and call it good. But yeah, if we don't make it, that's fine, because we can always go down the foundation and kind of go that way. And there'll be an apple here. But here we go. This is Classroom 8, which is the Arajan worksheet to translation. Man, okay, this is going to require probably a lot of notes. So let's pause here, and I'm just going to basically make notes of everything. I think we'll just look around the classroom, and I will have to make notes of everything and try to figure this out. But we did make it through all 8 classrooms on this run. So we do have all the information, and I have it recorded, which is awesome. So YouTube, I apologize for the other pause, but rather than me just sit here and take a bunch of notes, I figured let me show you guys what it is, and then I'm just going to write all of this down in my notebook. So I will be right back. Hey YouTube, I am back after taking a lot of notes and trying to do a lot of figuring out. There's been a lot of that in the classrooms today. Long story short, this is the worksheet for the Arajan worksheet translation. I think I've got all the right answers. Long story short is I think that this person, Trissa, got the first 4 right. So Ajlor, Ultich, Nevlor, Hewam, Ovet, El Swim, Nevdao, and Riedel, Nai. And the reason why I think that is because when I look at some of these other ones here, le read, le is a suffix, not a prefix. So this is in the wrong. So this has to be 1. And then when I look at like this guy could be wrong, but I just am not super confident in that. This matches the same, this matches, and this matches. So I think that it's this guy, because this one also lines up with what this person put, who only missed 1, and the only one that's inconsistent is this one, Lor Nevlor. And what this would just say is Aj is first, lore is word. So this would be first word, new word, which doesn't teach or do any sort of verb. So I imagine that that's the wrong one, and therefore that all of these other ones are correct because they all look right and even got an acceptable on this one. So ven, tre, ven would be the word there, and ven is a suffix which means old or the end of. So that, to me, it feels the end of the tree, of the old tree, is basically what that means, is the end of the old tree, which is what a branch would be. So that's all you missed, just me taking a ton of notes on that. I think I got them all correct. I'll probably be double-checking that with, double-checking my homework with Femzy later. But for now, I think that's where we are. So we're going to just continue on with this day and try to get as far as possible. There are a couple things I do want to do with this torch, so I need to be very careful about like where I go and where I move. But long story short is we need to go back to the armory, we need to check out that last key, and we need to see if we can get our dinner. So that is our goal, since we hit all 8 of the our classrooms, which is kind of exciting. So we can get the planetarium, which will call it good. We could do the boiler room here, which would give us some more rooms potentially, but it would also take away our only diamond, and we can't afford the passageway. So I do feel, let's take a gamble with the boiler room, and we'll go from there and see what we can do. So that door is locked. This door is not. We can get the gymnasium or the freezer. We could freeze our coins. Or we could... Either way, it's going to be a dead end unless there's a key in here. So I'm going to try the gymnasium. And I don't see anything on the floor or on the ground using the metal detector. So rather than risk losing the 2 steps that we need... I'm going to try to maximize what we've got, and we will just end our run here very soon. Let me see, is there any places to dig down here before I leave? Every now and then we get a place to dig. It's rare, but it does happen. Nope, Looks like we didn't draw any luck there, my friends. I was kind of hoping for a turnip or something, but, okay, so now what I need to do is I need to make it back to the foundation. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And hopefully we can make it out and down to where I need to scorch that other area. So we're going to go do that. And I don't want to take that shield. It'd be really nice if there was like fruit or something I missed, but I don't think we're going to get that lucky. So yeah, down through the classroom into the dining room, which is unfortunate we didn't get that trigger, which would have helped out a lot if we could have, but that's the way it goes. And okay, now we are here, drawing room through the classroom, into the foundation. That'll take us to the basement. I think we'll still have enough steps, but it's going to be very close. Very, very close. Alright, into the foundation. Down here. Down the elevator, and then we're going to go out the elevator door, and we need to make it to the orchard again. And I think we should have just enough steps to get there, but it's going to be close. Luckily, the going underground here does not count, so that's nice. Now we go out through the basement, which should take us to the grounds. Yeah, this is going to be very, very close, but I think we can make it because we want to try to scorch the sundial with what we've got. So here we are at the campsite, and we made it by the skin of our teeth. We made it. One step left. And now the plot thickens because I think we can move the memory chips over here, but I don't think we have enough steps to get that done today. I really hope this stays open. I don't know. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to find out. But, boy, that is going to call it a day right there. Good to know. Good to know that we got that done. Hopefully it will stay. We will see. We don't need to do the schoolhouse again. At least I don't think so. We had all 8 classrooms. We were able to unlock the torch, and hopefully it'll stay there. I'm not 100% sure. But we will be wrapping this up here. So, YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And again, you guys know the drill. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking and commenting on it. I'm not going to go over the whole thing again, but just thank you very much for watching. And if you do want to see more Blueprints content from me, please let me know. But that is going to wrap it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, YouTube!